So can you talk a little bit about like how some of these conversations go, like with when you're approaching somebody within this in this Power 20 or that
Yeah.
you created, like how have you approached them, or how do you market to them?
Sure. I'll give you the sentence. This sentence has made me $1 million. So your listeners should write this down. I'll give you 2 sentences. And I want you to listen in the sentence and find out if I said the word investor or realtor anywhere in this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it right now. I'll say, hey, Jack, do you ever have a situation where they want to move mom in, but they can't until they sell mom's house? And they'll get a giggle and they'll be like, Phil, every day that's my job. That's one of my biggest problems. And I'll say, are you working with anyone that's going through that problem or that situation right now? And what's going to happen next, Jack? They're going to say one of 2 things. They're going to say, yes, I am working with Julie and her mom's going through that right this second. And then I'll say, can I get Julie's number? Look at that. I just asked for the sale and I'm on my 3rd sentence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll say, oh man, I wish you would have met Ed last week. He had a heck of a time getting his house on the market. The deal fell through twice, blah, every real estate story you've ever heard.
Right.
And what I did is I just unlocked their brain as I'm a guy that fixes a problem that person sitting across from me has every single day in their business. And I didn't say I'm an investor because that can be misconstrued as a shark investor or somebody negative. And I didn't say I'm a realtor, even though I have a license. I don't start with that. That's not my goal to be like, try to get a listing. I'm a home investor. I'm a house buyer. And so I want to teach people how to do it the right way.
Sure. Do you have anybody that comes and you market at all to the potential sellers, like, or is it just mostly relying on that group?
If you think about it, I like to work smarter, not harder. So with the average child living 400 miles away, if mom is in St. Louis and the brother lives in Chicago, it's really hard for me to do enough. I'm not to the point where I have the millions of dollars a month of marketing budget to hit the guy in Chicago to try to find his mom in Chicago, right? So I wait. Let's talk about it this way. In direct mail, think about what a direct mail list usually looks like. It's over the age of 65, has equity, and has lived there 20 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would somebody mail to that list? Obviously, it's because there's a chance that they might be going through what I'm actually talking about. I've flipped the business around. Instead of spray and pray, my clients are saying, I need to sell right now. Right? I've taken away the whole if and when and hope and all that junk. And it's literally to the moment they just found out, they just realized, they've just been told, we need to sell. The timing, there is no better lead I've found in my 22 years.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things too that people need to be aware of, you early on in our conversation, we talked about people using stealth voicemails and automatic tests. It's all this automation and frankly, the people that you're talking about more times than not don't have that technology to receive that type of messaging.
Not at all. Do you know how many times I've had to drive across town to hand deliver a contract because there's no email?
Right.
You better believe I'll drive across town for that contract,
Right. No,
you're very right. And maybe the adult children are a little better with technology, but they're so fragmented that I'm telling you where the people who has their attention, right? It's like that mailman analogy. If you had a whole group of mailmen all singing your praises, well, even better is the people that are helping you with your mom in that time of need. That person's very trusted. And when that person said, Philip is the best guy to go to, game over. Mm-hmm. Just be competent. Do what you say. I hate that I have to say that out loud, but in our investor world, like I like the act of wholesaling, Jack, but what scares me to death, what keeps me up at night is if your only exit strategy is to wholesale only and you have no way to close any other way, that's not good for what I do, because I've done this enough, bought thousands of houses, right? We can't always wholesale them. We have to close on them like our contract says, right? And so if you stand up grandma with her bags packed and you call her on the 30th day, even though that might be in your contract that you can do that and say, hey, sorry, I'm not buying your house, that reverberates throughout the whole channel. And that's not what I'm looking for. Right.
Yeah.
And let's just be blunt here. Not everybody has their bank situation set up. So I even help my students that I teach on how to find ways to fund these deals. Right. I want you to be able to do what you say. I'm going to help those people to set that up, because I know people starting off, that's always like, well, where am I going to get the money from? And I want everyone to know finding the good deal is the hard part. It's not funding the good deal. Funding is easy if it's actually a deal.